I had another topic, but I forgot it.
Oh no.
Actually, yeah, I know what my topic is. You know that Silent Hill? I don't think they should have bosses. That's my controversial opinion. Well, okay,
And why is that?
I don't think they... Oh! Yeah, super missile! Okay, I don't think they should not have bosses outright. I just don't think the way they use bosses is right most of the time.
So you don't like the implementation of them?
Not particularly, no. The only time I've ever really enjoyed the implementation of a boss was in the oh-so-controversial Silent Hill 4, because towards the very end of the game, you get the first of what can be considered a boss, which is just a room with a bunch of those things that come out of the walls and on like racks, and you just kind of have to find
the ones that sent you flying.
yes, and you just kind of have to find the right one. Okay, here's the first example of sequence breaking. If I can do it right. I'm gonna see if I can do it. Okay.
I'm guessing that this is gonna have something to do with wall jumping.
Yes. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Yeah, look at that! I shouldn't be able to go there yet. I'm supposed to get the power up that lets me jump higher. That's right, clap for me. It's the only time someone will.
Don't worry, I'm sure we'll get people in the comments clapping for you as well.
Nah, they never will. Have I done something wrong?
If you have, I don't know what it is.
Ah!
But yeah, clapping emojis in the comments.
Clapping emojis. You make me sick. You know what? I think...
Either for his confidence or to make him sick, just make it happen.
Come on. Yeah, there we go. Up we go. Okay, never mind. What am I doing wrong?
You are not making any openings, that's what you're doing wrong.
Yeah, but openings with what? None of the walls are revealing themselves. Alright, I guess I'll just come back later. No sequence break for me because I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. Oh well. But anyway, what were we talking about again? I need you to keep track of this stuff for me.
Well, you were demanding that I stop talking about Sarkid, so I said I would continue talking about Sarkid. But then I was done talking about
Oh yeah, I was
Sarkid.
talking about boss fights in those dang old Silent Hill games. Look, I'm just saying, when you do the Pyramid Head fight in Silent Hill 2, can we all agree it's a pretty rubbish fight? I was taking damage in that room.
I guess that room disagreed.
Look, I'm just saying, the Pyramid Head fight is a load of rubbish because you either do enough damage to it that it runs away, which is just a waste of ammo, or you just wait around for 2 minutes.
Isn't
And it can, and like, unless you're actually experimenting and trying to hit him in what you saying?
Isn't this thing with Pyramid Head that it's unkillable or something?
It is unkillable. It kills itself at the end of the game. Whoops, spoiler alert. But the annoying thing is that it just feels like a waste of bullets and time. Cause you just wait around for something to finally stop attacking you, and its attacks are so slow that it's like not even a worry to begin with, so it just gets annoying. You know what I mean? And it's like,
so.
at that point you don't feel scared, it's just like, hurry up already. And I think when they stick you just in a room with something that you can damage in a unique way, because this is why I like the the quote-unquote boss in Silent Hill 4, because you have to use your brain and figure out which one's the right one, otherwise you're going to end up getting, like, slashed to death. And that makes it interesting. But most other Silent Hill bosses are just shoot it until it dies, which is very Resident Evil-y. And not in a good way. I do not like a lot of Resident Evil bosses either. A lot of Resident Evil bosses, especially, like, final bosses especially. Because a Resident Evil final boss is just invincible until it's not. Like, you ever played, like, Resident Evil 5? Wesker in that game took punishment for days. And then it just felt like it got to a point where the game just finally went bored now and then just killed him with like a single missile launcher. And it's like, alright, fair enough. It doesn't really feel like it was well earned or anything. I kind of got the same vibes for the Resident Evil 4 final boss because I'd played Resident Evil 5 first. I kind of instantly knew where it was going the moment I picked up the rocket launcher at the very end. It's like, right, well, I know what we're killing this thing with. And I can only presume that in every other Resident Evil game, the final boss is killed the same way. Rocket launcher to the face. Oh wait, this is the fire room. Silent Hill 3 kinda had decent bosses, like the missionary was alright, I guess. For a boss that's just shoot to kill, it was kind of alright. I didn't really like a lot of just the shoot to kill bosses in Silent Hill 2. Eddie was kind of fine enough, but I don't know, it just felt like every enemy in the game could react faster than you. So I would just never heal until a boss, and then I would just stand in front of the boss and just constantly shoot them and just heal when I needed to, because it felt completely pointless to fight it any other way. Especially the abstract daddy boss. That one was just shotgun, shotgun, take hit, shotgun, shotgun, take hit, shotgun, shotgun, take hit. Which is a bit of a shame, considering it's supposed to be a representation of someone's, like, whatchamacallit, like, abusive, rapey dad. And when the solution is the same as pretty much everything else you encounter in the game, it kind of feels a bit cheapened.
So is it like the bosses are conceptually scary, but to actually fight, just kind of rubbish?
Just kind of a pain. A lot of people defend this stuff by saying, like, it adds to the dread in the atmosphere, but I counter that with, okay, I get that was the intention, but is that the way you actually felt? Because, not gonna lie, it is not the way I felt. I just felt annoyed. It's the same thing when people comment on the main character of Silent Hill 4, Henry the Cardboard Man. And everyone just says he's supposed to be that way because either A, he's supposed to be a player surrogate, or B, people will argue that the way he nonchalantly reacts to everything is supposed to give you that sense of unease that everything's not how it should be. And I'm like, okay, that's a fair enough intention, but the way it actually plays out is that everybody laughs at how comically, like, bored he sounds. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can do this. Meow. Meow.
Oh.
There is a move you can do, and I'm not entirely there we go. And I'm not entirely sure how easy it is to pull off. It's something like you kind of have to be running, jump, point downwards, and then sort of do a Hadoken thing into a morph ball, and then you carry your running momentum into a morph ball. I'm gonna see if I can try it. Nah, it says.
Nope.
Oh well. Maybe I'll get there one day.
The ceiling said no.
Oh well. But yeah, just kinda sucks in my opinion, some of those things that people say are supposed to be fear-inducing.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, oh, Henry can get comical at times. He's pretty ridiculous. Like, sometimes there's not really any adequate way to describe his reactions to things. I am genuinely stumped here.
I feel like, though, that thing about the voice acting is something I've started noticing with, particularly, I know this is far, far more recent, but Bendy and the Ink Machine, the difference between that and Silent Hill is it's an indie game, so they don't really have so much of a budget.
Aha!
But, the main character, also called Henry, he just sounds bored for a lot of it. Like, a lot of his dialogue is just, I have to go and do this now.
Well, okay, the weird thing about Silent Hill 2 is that it does feel like the voice actors are trying. Because it's normally in nonchalant scenes where everything sounds ridiculous. But, like, during serious scenes, the characters are, like, putting in, like, proper voice work. It's... Because, like, I think the biggest one is Eddie. Because... like, the vomiting noises he makes in the toilet when you first meet him, like, do sound, like, really nauseating. And then the next place you see him, he's just eating pizza. And then James is just there, and he's like, "This town is full of monsters. How could you sit there and eat pizza?" And then Eddie's just like, "She said she was fine by herself." Forget you. And it just... Some scenes just sound ridiculous, but like, when James is presented with a very serious scene, he does tend to actually put in the work. I get the feeling I'm supposed to bomb something around here, but I don't know what.
I just kind of feel like with game-related voice acting,
Don't forget
like,
it was also 2001.
You can have rubbish voice acting and still have it be fun, but just when the character sounds really bored, it's just disappointing.
Eddie, you can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you. Oh yeah? Why not? That is a golden line to me. Which is very weird because it came literally just after an actual, like, pretty badass line where Eddie's just kinda sat there and his sanity's slowly slipping. He's like, killing someone ain't a big deal. You just put the gun to their head. Pow! And that's like one of the most memorable lines in the whole goddamn game. Ugh.
I think yeah, I've been playing Dragon Quest 11.
Oh, well done.
You know, I can't remember the full name of it, but the Switch edition of it. And I don't know that I'm not sure that they really know where they're setting it, because it seems to be vaguely British, because the accents are just all over the place.
I'll tell you what, the weirdest thing.
And then just, like, out of nowhere, there's this one kingdom that's just vaguely Eastern European. I don't even know where Eric's supposed to be from. It sounds like a weird mix of English and American.
Do you know if Zelda's voice actor is British or not? Because, not gonna lie, she sounds like an American voice actress doing one of those "but thou must" voices. Oh, I'm gonna get absolutely grilled for my cluelessness. I've already played through this game before, that's the most embarrassing part. Sometimes I just get stuck and I just bomb everything.
I can't remember much about the accents for Breath of the Wild.
I remember the Goron guy sounding like an absolute tool. There's gotta be something here, there has to be.
The Gorons and the Gerudo, because they were characterized as being American, it was certainly more natural for the accents.
Well, some of it just sounds... Some of it sounded like 4Kids, I'm just gonna say it. Oh, forget this. This is tragic. There we go. At least I killed all of them in one. Oh, wait a minute! Look at that. I'm an idiot.
Hey.
See...
But like that thing...
Okay, here's an argument for you. Do you think games should very clearly telegraph what the breakable blocks are? Or do you think they should leave it up to you to notice things in the environment? Because honestly, I always lean on the environment side of things, but then I just do ridiculous stuff like what I did now, not notice that forever. Because it wasn't until running back here again that I noticed that this one dipped down way more than the rest.
How they implement it.
Well, okay, see the thing
like
is...
if they have something that looks unnatural, like... But not necessarily, you know, not unnatural, but still subtle, as opposed to, hey, you can break this.
I think it looked unnatural enough that there's really no me making excuses for myself, but at the same time, I can see more people getting annoyed and frustrated at something like that. Oh man, I wasted all my missiles. I've got no health, this is terrible. Aha! Look at that. Bazinga.
Hurrah!
I don't know, a lot of I can imagine a lot of people getting stuck because playing Silent Hill recently, I did have instances like that where I've just... criminy. Where I would just get stuck, spend forever wandering around, and then just realize it was because I didn't notice a door to my right. And sometimes I wonder to what degree that's onto the game and what degree that's onto the player, because I see other people playing these sorts of games. Some people will get it instantly.
See, I always figured that problem for me was because, geez, I'm unobservant.
Well, it's just sometimes things that I notice instantly, people take forever to notice, but then things that I take forever to notice, the same people will notice instantly. And at that point, it makes you wonder, like, can you call it a design problem? Because if someone else says, well, I found this instantly, so what's the big deal? I suppose that's the thing about these kinds of games, you just have to accept that there's a possibility that you might just miss something. And I don't know if you can call that good or bad design, I think that's just a neutral thing. I suppose that's another thing that could put someone off anyway, not knowing where they're supposed to be going and spend forever wandering around just realising they were supposed to shoot one block.
I would rather it be that than it be, like, painfully obvious.
Yeah, because I only bring it up because I played a little bit of the 3DS Metroid 2 remake, and I noticed that, like, a lot of areas, compared to the another Metroid 2 remake, were just very clearly sectioned off by breakable blocks. And that kind of didn't sit well with me, because it A, took away from the idea that this is a completely organic environment, and B, just made me feel like I was just mindlessly going through the game as opposed to figuring stuff out.
I mean, I will say that certainly with stuff like the Zelda games with cracks in the wall, I don't think that's necessarily bad, but that's more in the sense of, well, it's still natural to the environment.
I kind of want. Sometimes I have wondered of what you're supposed to do with that because.
But
I do wonder to a degree.
But like, I would prefer that over, say, it just coming up with a pop-up saying, "You can bomb this to create an opening." I think just as long as the as long as the way that it's indicated is still fitting in with the environment, I think it's not. I think that's probably a better way to implement stuff like that.
Oh no. Sometimes I wonder about the breakable walls in Zelda because they are painfully, screamingly obvious. But at the same time, I wonder like how you could do it in a better way, because the alternative is not making it clear at all, a la Zelda 1, and that's just painful for everyone involved.
Yeah, I feel like with Breath of the Wild, I think they kind of got away with it better to have it not be obvious, but at the same time, you had unlimited bombs.
Yeah, I think the annoying thing about Zelda 1 is the fact that you are very limited to 8 bombs. And I don't think the solution is to give you unlimited bombs, because then you can... Because especially in Zelda 1, where bombs can just destroy anything. Like, Breath of the Wild, infinite bombs is absolutely fine, because when do you ever run out of bombs in a Zelda game anyway? I wish Breath of the Wild had more intuitive not intuitive, more dynamic combat.
Yeah.
Because, like, compare Breath of the Wild to, Wind Waker. Like, what you can do with the enemies in that game is amazing. I do wish Breath of the Wild had more items. I want a hookshot, I want a boomerang, I want all of that stuff back. But I was...
Definitely the dungeons are better handled in previous games.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, when it comes to combat, I know in Breath of the Wild there's, like, a million things you can do to enemies, but they all kinda basically have the same result. Whereas in something like Wind Waker, take those flying pea-hats, for example. You can knock them off their thing with a... You can knock them off their thing with a boomerang, you could pull them right towards you with a hookshot, you could just snipe them straight out of the sky with an arrow, you could use the hookshot to, whip something off of them. No, not the hookshot, the, what's it called? The grapple claw thing.
The
grappling hook? Yes. You could use that.
Yeah, to knock them down long enough.
One of my favourite things that I didn't actually think of doing until I saw someone do it in a playthrough was, they froze a Re-Dead with an ice arrow and then destroyed it instantly with the hammer. And it's like, that is amazing to me. Breath of the Wild does allow that kind of inventiveness, but it's nowhere near as snappy and instant. It's normally something normally something like putting stasis on a rock and then like hopefully shifting it so that you can get it to go down a mountain and take out a camp. Or
I feel like as well it limits your want to actually fight creatively because of the way the weapon system works.
I think what it is that other Zelda, something like Wind Waker gives you a number of equally valid choices that are just as snappy, so you really can just do your own preferred thing. Whereas Breath of the Wild, normally the quickest and easiest thing to do is just arrows and sword. Like, I don't understand why anyone would consider setting some grass on fire, like using a Deku Leaf to pull up some wind, and then like taking that gust of wind just so you can do like a slash attack on the ground or something. Or like going for the effort of pushing a boulder off of a cliff to take out one enemy when you could literally just shoot a single arrow into the camp square, into the middle of the camp, knock down the torch, or like the lamp up top, set everyone on fire and get 3 kills instantly. I think that is literally the problem. They give you one extremely easy, obvious choice that gets rid of everything. And I don't think that's the right thing to do.
I think probably the enemies I did really enjoy the way that you defeated them, though, it was the Guardians. Because like the rest of the enemies, it was okay. Now I have a stick. I can kill these moblins now. Nice, or bokoblins. I keep getting them mixed up. I'm a bad Zelda fan. But yeah, you can.
I'm not saying there's like zero variety.
The enemies that you're able to fight with it, with better weapons, but even though it's a really simple way to defeat the Guardians, I just feel like it's very satisfying to get off a
those
parry.
tests of strength things are like absolutely atrocious to me. Like, they're fine at first, but then it just gets very annoying because I think it's something like 20 of them. 20 of the 120 are like tests of strength. And it's like, that seems to me a bit excessive. That is literally copy-paste.
that the shrines are basically because they've made the dungeons the divine beasts, so that limits how many dungeons you have.
Well, there's almost no variety. That's just the problem.
Yeah, I
Um,
understand the need for the shrines, and it means that
I think somebody actually did a
you're
calculation
able to.
of which
It
ones.
gives you the ability to build up your stamina and health at your own pace and all that kind of stuff, but the older dungeon system was so much better.
Well, I'm not saying that that they're bad at all. A lot of them are actually quite good. It was
Yeah,
something
they're a good idea, but
I saw
just
like
the way they're implemented.
somebody charted all of them, and I think literally half of them are ones that instantly give you a sphere, or they are tests of strength. So only half of the temples are actually have unique substantial content in them. And
See,
even then, that's debatable because they're normally just a single puzzle. Some of them are
I do
massive
kind
though.
of-
Some of
I
them
do
have a lot
kind
of
of
puzzles
like
and
the
they're
ones
great.
I do kind of like the ones that it's about them that it's them giving you this sphere once you get in, because that's not about the shrine itself, it's about you solving a problem to get the shrine to appear,
Okay,
which I
see,
appreciate.
okay, I'm gonna disagree with you there because while I did like the fact that you had to do some puzzles to get the shrines to appear in the first place, I expected my reward for doing that to be like I find the shrines and the puzzles in them to be fun. So when I do all that work to get a shrine, it's just like, oh, I wonder what's in this one. It's just like, oh yeah, it's just a sphere, get out of here. I'm just like, oh, okay. That's a bit crap. And I know it's not, and I know that it was probably short. They didn't have enough development time because some of the ones that where you do have to solve a puzzles to get the shrine do have full-on shrines in them. And some of the shrines are because honestly, my favorite shrine puzzle in the whole game is that one where you go to the desert island and have to survive on nothing. Because it really shows you how it really shows you how fun and resourceful the game can be once it's taken away everything.
I remember one of my friends had gotten Breath of the Wild before me, and I was watching him play it when he got to that island, and I immediately thought, okay, I am not doing that, I am not going to manage that. But when I got to the island myself by accident, I thought, well...
How'd you get there by accident? You have to fly there for ages.
Fly?
Well, I glided there over the course. I glided there.
I got on a raft and just started traveling to see where I wound up.
Oh, cool. See, there you go. That's a nice bit of diversity. See, stuff like that. It does have those sorts of things, and it's great.
And I just thought, oh no, this is that one island. But it turned out to be a lot more doable than I thought it would be.
Oh, come on, give me a super missile for crying out loud!
Although I did have the misfortune of, when I was there, getting a blood moon.
Oh, get rooted. But yeah,
But that didn't stop me.
Honestly, I think that dungeon is literally a perfect example of players don't know what they want. Because that really did just show that limitless freedom is not what you want. Players say they want limitless freedom, but what they really want to do is chop down trees to make bridges. To quote Matthew Matosis.
If that's what you want, play Animal Crossing.
It's the same thing that like Metal Gear Solid 5 had problems with, because it's like they give you all of these extremely unique ways to take out guards, like distracting them with porn magazines and blow up generals and weird Fulton things and all sorts of distractions like throwing bottles and loads of crazy stuff like that. But the quickest, best, easiest, safest solution was always to just trank them or just run up to them and punch them in the face, because that would instantly knock them out for like 10 minutes. And I know a lot of people say that it's optional and you can just do it the way you want, but my argument is that players will do the thing that is the least fun. If you give a player an easy out, they will take it even if it makes it less fun. That is just simply how player psychology works. It's the game designer's job to limit that level of ease so that they end up creating more fun scenarios for themselves. And since I died and have to battle Kraid again, and we've been doing this for over an hour, I think now is a good time to close.
Okay, but before that, I will say, the Lionels, when I beat my first one, I was very proud. Because hey, you don't have to fight them. But I did, and I won.
Well, technically you don't have to fight anything except for the bosses.
Yeah, but given the difference between the Lionels and other enemies, I was so happy about that.
How did you beat it? Did you do flurries?
Yeah.
Just like everyone else.
Thing is, I usually have trouble actually getting stuff like the flurries to work, just because I'm rubbish with timing. But I think it was once I got specific gear that upped my attack was when I decided that I would see if I could fight a Lionel. And I think I just had some good luck with getting the timing of dodging and timing and the parrying and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the finishing blow was when I'd actually managed to get up onto its back and just wail on it. And then later on I tried fighting one of the white Lionels and it did not go so well.
Oh, it's going terrible around our super missiles, just kill me. Well, it's good you felt accomplished in a video game, because I certainly don't feel accomplished right now. Any closing thoughts?
Nah, I'm gonna go play Animal Crossing.
Alright
I got
then.